fifth episode of the Cards and Cartridges Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, aka OG Retro. I'm here with my man, Chris, aka Koozie Retro Games. Today, we're talking about how Animal Crossing has sold 31 million copies and gotten us through a global pandemic. We're talking about the Pokemon card market miscuts and error market compared to how sports card is. We're talking about game systems that we might think are cool. We like the library. We may want to play them, but we've just never played them. And also investing in cards, either vintage or do you go modern? What do you want to invest in, that base set Charizard or that Champions Path Charizard in the sports card market? You know, everything like that. It's going to be a good episode, guys. Koozie, how's it going, my man?
Dude, I'm excited. Happy Monday morning, everybody. We're recording this on a Sunday, but I know I had a great weekend. I'm excited for the week ahead. We've got some great topics coming at you guys this morning. Just excitement, pure excitement.
Pure excitement. I need more coffee, I feel like. I'm drinking water and I wish I had some coffee, but it's a Sunday, so it's water Sundays.
Can you drink coffee late at night, or does it keep you up?
Nothing keeps me up, Chris. It's
No, you just
unfortunate.
dude, I've cut out two quote unquote addictions in the past 5 days.
Okay.
I've stopped sports betting and I stopped taking melatonin at night.
No, hold up. Before we go any further, then, what? You weren't betting that much on sports.
No, I was bet like $3, but I just kept like I'm net positive on sports betting, but I just would keep getting mad at myself. Like, how can I pick the opposite of each game? What got me into a lot of trouble was I would win money like sports betting,
Yeah.
and then that blackjack button's just staring at me. And then when you start playing online blackjack, you can't trust that algorithm.
Yeah, I've never been pulled into that kind of stuff. Thank God. I just opened Pokemon cards. It's very different.
And then I was taking melatonin to like help me fall asleep at night. So I try to go to bed. My mind's just racing with like so many different things.
Yeah.
And during like school, it was bad. I was taking like the 10 milligram, which is like the highest one. But I've cut it down to like 1 milligram. My girlfriend Joy just like, you don't need it. It's just a dependency. Like your mind just says you need it. So I ran out on last Saturday. Haven't taken it since.
Interesting. I want to get on melatonin. I'd love to start that crutch. I can't sleep, so maybe we'll see. Maybe you could transfer it. You can send me any, whatever.
Dude, it helped. Like I said, I was just on the 1 milligram, but it just kind of like calmed me down. Like I said, I go to bed at night and my mind's just racing. And I just think of everything I have to do. So this is more of just okay, shutting down, time to go to bed.
I feel you. All right, but let's get into topics, man. I had to understand. I want to talk about, I'll start talking about if you had money, right? And it doesn't matter if you have a lot of money, but you have money to invest in cards, be it sports cards or Pokemon cards or whatever card game you like, because truthfully, they're all kind of investable at this point. Yu-Gi-Oh's investable, Magic's definitely investable, Digimon, whatever, Harry Potter even. So if you had, some money and you wanted to put it in cards, do you think you'd have a better investment in older cards for your dollar,
Okay.
or newer cards that, and both you're let's say you're holding these investments, because I think that matters too. You're holding these investments for a minimum of 20 years.
I'm going 100% vintage.
Vintage.
Like it doesn't even cross my mind to buy these modern cards as an investment. Now, if you pull them, you grade them, that's cool. But I don't see them going up in price as much as vintage. And even just so when you brought this topic up, I threw myself on mute real quick and I just quickly went on PSA.com, pop report, typed in Charizard, and the first one that I can find was in English was base set 2. Do you know off the top of your head how many PSA 10 base set 2 Charizards there are?
PSA
10.
Wait. All right, PSA 10 base
Yep,
set.
base set 2 Charizards.
Okay. I'm gonna go with 350.
Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing, 2000 Pokemon game base set 2, card number 4, Charizard
That
Hollow.
makes sense.
There is 54 PSA 10s.
Holy shit. That's way lower than I thought.
Yeah, there's 701 in a 9. But okay, you take that 54 PSA 10 base set 2 Charizards, there's over 4,000, I believe, 4,000 PSA 10s of the Rainbow Charizard from Champions Pass so far.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense to even consider investing in modern cards right now.
No, and so I'm looking up right now kind of the 20.
Unless that's all you can get your hands on.
Champions Path Full Art Charizard, card number 74, PSA 10, 4,182.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Already.
Yeah,
and there's still probably another couple thousand at PSA, couple thousand sitting in boxes that are waiting to be pulled and sent to PSA. Now, I think that that card just has so much value right now still because of the current market we're in. But once we hit kind of a downfall of this market, just how the markets go, we're going to see that come down a lot. And I think you have
I think it still does have time to still drop a bit.
I think you just have so much more of a safety net betting on or investing in vintage.
I think you're right. I think that was almost I'm not going to say a stupid question. It's an interesting question to think about because there is the argument like you could buy like a decent amount of sealed packs for $100, right?
Yep.
Like if you say you only had $100 to invest. I don't know what vintage cards you could buy in like. There are a couple Pokemon cards I'd say you could buy vintage raw or like maybe one raw card that you could grade and potentially make a good return on.
Yep.
But like you could buy like I don't know, maybe $100 worth of I don't know, like Breakthrough or Roaring Skies, some pack like that.
Okay.
And then keep those sealed for 20 years. That might be it.
Something that kind of came out like a couple years before this whole boom.
Yeah.
Because I just think there's so much product out there right now for Champions Path, Vivid Voltage, and Shining Fates.
No, I agree.
And then I totally lost my train of thought right there. So how do you feel about, I guess, modern sealed wax?
Like you're saying
like keeping like boxes, like say somebody keeps 30 Champions Path ETBs.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand so I'm not doing that. I think people think I do that. Like I think people think I hoard sealed product, but I really only have like one of each and it's kind of like a collection.
That's how I am.
But yeah, no, I don't understand hoarding sealed product. Although it's so stupid because I watched this guy on YouTube called Alpha Investments. He's really smart. He talks about Magic and stuff, and now Pokemon. But he's proven every time anybody that says that gets proven wrong with modern product because you buy like anything, like any of the modern product from a couple years ago is wild, dude. That freaking Primal Clash Elite Trainer box is $2,400
for an ETB.
For an ETB that was released 4 years ago, or
for $50 on the shelf, 40 or $50 on the shelf.
So anybody that says that, like, so,
and I saw something where it was like it showed a list of the past 10 booster boxes or whatever that came out, and none of them have dipped below retail. They've all gone up in value.
Exactly. So there's that, and the fact that like something like XY Evolutions, like those booster boxes are still with a reprint announced and a reprint of the packs and the Kanto Power boxes in store. So the booster boxes haven't been reprinted yet, but the power boxes have.
I didn't know they were doing that.
Even with all that, they're still going for like $900 to $1,000 for the booster box.
And that goes into what I was going to say, and I forgot. Now, one modern card I want to invest in is, and I kick myself every day and check eBay, but I just can't find one that I want to pull the trigger on, is the hollow Charizard from that set.
Yeah.
You can get one for like $100, $120 to $150 on eBay.
Yeah.
So it's like, why is the chase card in that set worth $120, but the box is $1,000?
I think there are a couple reasons that I think it is literally more rare. The supply is literally lower now of the booster boxes compared to that card. And
Hmm.
the desire to open or own those booster boxes is very high with YouTubers and people doing booster box openings, and just that booster box being now kind of iconic with Gary V. That was like the first Pokemon product he kind of touted, was the XY Evolutions booster box. Like that's what he was talking about. And you have that, and then you also have the fact here, I just lost my train of thought now. You also have the fact that what the heck was I saying, dude?
Something about Gary V and the base set booster, not base set, the booster boxes from Evolutions. What card is that in the set? Do you know?
It's the Hollow Charizard.
Yeah, from Evolutions.
Like what number?
Yes.
I have no idea.
I'm on the PSA website real quick trying to get you a pop report of that.
Yeah. Oh, I was okay. So
Charizard Hollow, card number 11. There is 205. Oh my god.
that's what I was gonna say.
Real quick, you know how
Yeah.
Evolutions is known for their crap, like
that's what I was gonna talk about.
crap quality.
Yeah.
205 PSA 10s. Okay.
Right.
Guess how many nines?
2,000.
5,779.
Holy shit. I'm
That's
surprised
insane.
there's 210s at this point. I thought there was a lot less a couple months ago, which is
That's
cool.
insane. Wow.
Yeah, that is insane. I have one of those cards at BGS right now, and the grading should be done this week. So
That boy's gonna 10.
There are no 10s at BGS.
Not even a gold label 10.
Not even a gold label 10 from BGS.
Are you gonna look right when it tells you, and wait till it comes back in the mail?
No, I'm looking at him right away, dude. I can't wait for that shit. That's gonna be nuts. I feel like it has to be 9. Like there's not a single one.
Yeah.
Maybe someone's got to be the first, so we'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was the other reason I was gonna say the fact that people want to get that 10 Charizard, like, and there's so few of those out there. The need to buy a sealed box to try and get that is probably pretty high. Like,
Yeah.
So that might be the disconnect in price there.
That's insane. Yeah, no. So I guess my overall answer to this topic is vintage 100%, but don't exclude modern.
Yeah.
Collect what you like in modern.
Yeah.
And just don't depend on it for like an investment though.
I agree.
Cool. I guess so my next topic I want to talk about kind of goes into the video game segment, and it's what is a system that you think the library is cool for and you would like to play, but you just haven't devoted the time to jump into that system yet?
I've played a lot of systems, but I guess probably like Sega Saturn.
That's the one that's what I was gonna say also.
Yeah, I don't have a Saturn. I've never had a Saturn. I know there are a lot of cool like shoot 'em ups, I think, for this Saturn, like bullet hell shooters and stuff like that. And I know it was a pretty like oddball console, one that didn't get a lot of love in the beginning, and it was just kind of at the end of a console life cycle. But yeah, probably that. Like,
Definitely, and that's
cool things.
That's what came to my mind too. And this, I think normally you see a lot of like rare games are expensive, but they're not good. But I've heard good things about Saturn games. Now, Saturn games in general are pricier than your other systems, but I've heard good things about their games, which probably increases the value even more. And I own a Saturn, and I own probably 13 Saturn games, and I just haven't put the time into it. So it's like that's something that I definitely want to.
So you even own one?
Yep, I own one, and then
you own a ton of games that you don't play, so it's just a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I mean, do you invest in modern games or retro games?
Definitely, that's a easy one though.
Yeah.
Now, people would make, dude, that could be. There is a crazy rise in prices in some modern stuff sometimes.
Dude, I was watching this video the other day and it was talking about expensive PS4 games.
Yeah.
And there's some out there where they're like crazy.
Yeah. Dude, I was thinking about the Pokeball Plus accessory for the Switch.
That just shot up randomly. It was $30 a month ago.
Exactly. Like, what?
Now it's $130.
That's just absurd.
Or you look at
That's
something
what
like the PS TV, like those were $15 on clearance at Walmart for the longest time, and then all of a sudden, bang, shoots up in price.
Yeah, so there is, I guess there's some stuff modern.
It's like that with anything though.
Yeah.
What is going to be that next thing to jump in price?
Yeah.
Now, do you own a Virtual Boy?
I do not.
Have you ever played a Virtual Boy?
No, I don't think so.
I have one, and I've played it a few times. It's fun. I believe I have played Mario's Tennis on it, and I played the Wario game, Wario Woods, or Wario whatever's on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a roundabout way going for the full Virtual Boy set just because there's only 14 games on it. I think I have like 8 of the 14 right now, but then after you start getting into the really expensive ones. Like I believe the most expensive game is Waterworld, and that's probably
bizarre.
$250 or even more probably at this point.
Yeah, it's a weird one to collect for.
Have you done have you put in a decent amount of time and explored the libraries of pretty much all like the Nintendo systems, like main Nintendo systems?
Yeah, I would say NES, yes, definitely put in a decent amount of time into some games. SNES, 100%. N64, 100%. GameCube, yes. Wii, yes. Wii U, no. Switch, yes.
Wii U is fun.
Game Boy, yes. Game Boy Color, yes. Game Boy Advance, yes. DS, yes. 3DS,
Yeah. Now my collection's right here to the left of me, and I'm staring at my Vita and my PSP. I just don't find those often. I own a Vita and I own a PSP because I've gotten them in local lots.
Yeah.
But I don't own one Vita game or a PSP game.
Yeah, I don't. I own my childhood PSP. And I played a lot of PSP when I was a kid. But I don't. The only games I have for it are probably a couple from my childhood, like the God of War game, Chains of Olympus, maybe Potapon, that game, GTA, probably a couple games like that. But yeah, I never find. I sometimes find PSP, but Vita is.
Dude, I never find
so rare.
And I've heard so many good things about the Vita, and I just haven't experienced because I haven't found any games for it. I guess if you guys have any good Vita game recommendations, let me know because I'm looking to expand my Vita collection. Right now, it's at a whopping goose egg.
Yeah, man. So that's definitely what I'd say about that.
Yeah, I think we're pretty on the same page right there. Like kind of your oddball handhelds, Vita, PSP, and then kind of Saturn. I've also put in a good amount of time. I played games on every Nintendo system, put in some time on them, and I thoroughly enjoy them. I guess there's not one where I'm like, especially Nintendo systems, there's not one where I'm like, probably won't come back to this one.
Exactly.
It's just they're overall great. They're all great. I want to get some of the Game & Watches.
Oh, those look really cool. I mean, I got the new one, and I've played like maybe 2 of the old ones.
Do you own it? Do you own any of the old ones?
No, I've bought and sold them. Never held on to them.
Yeah. No, I just don't even think I've ever found one. I see them at the local game store and things like that, and they're cool. I've just never found one in a lot. But if I did, I would definitely keep them. They're really well designed, and I love the box art on them.
Yeah, the box art's super sick.
So, and they don't take up a lot of room, which is the best thing.
That's true. But when you have so much, everything takes up a lot of room.
Exactly.
When your collection's big, every piece of room counts.
Exactly.
Let's talk about quickly. I was just thinking it's been basically a year with Corvid. And Corvid, yep, young Corvid. It's almost been a year. And so at the start of Corvid, we got a new game, and it was Animal Crossing New Horizon. And
now, did that just drop? Like, was that scheduled to drop, or is like,
that was
the makers like, we're pumping this right now?
No, it was planned. Brilliant. But it was scheduled to drop then, and they got yeah, lucky, but also not lucky with the pandy. But it was the perfect game to come out during the pandemic, and they sold 31 million copies to date. Now, there's a couple games that have done it, but most notably in the Nintendo franchise is Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green, with a combined sales of also 31 million copies. So I just think it's interesting. Okay, so for a little context, this is a game that my girlfriend played. My
Yeah,
girlfriend does not play video
I
games.
was gonna bring that up. I was gonna.
She,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, she does not play video games. Number one, begged me to have one of the Nintendo Switches, the yellow Nintendo Switch Lite.
Hmm.
And then when Animal Crossing came out, she got that. She bought it with her own money. Like, she wanted that game and she played it. She has more hours in Animal Crossing than I do. And I just think that's insane. Like,
And
this
that's what
game,
I was seeing so many people like on Twitter or like my Instagram that like I go to people like when I went to school with.
yeah.
They weren't big gamers. I never knew they played video games. They're just like these random like now I guess it's the stereotype of males usually are more into video games than females are. But I was seeing on like everybody's story and everybody talking about Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
Animal Crossing. Everybody wanted it, which caused switches. That's when the switches were
Yeah,
impossible
switches
to
were
find.
so hard to find because it was the pandemic and Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Switches, like basic switches, were selling for like $600.
And I didn't even think Animal Crossing was that popular of a game.
Right.
Like,
I didn't really it was the first Animal Crossing game I ever played.
like I knew it was a popular game in the Nintendo franchise,
Yeah.
but it's not like when a new like Smash Bros comes out or like when a new Call of Duty comes out to where people are like sitting there buying it day one and like waiting and anticipating this. It was just insane. Like I think it was mainly just COVID and being bored.
Yeah. I think COVID, being bored. And it's also like one of those, it is like a nostalgic game for a lot of people. The last mainline one, like there was an Animal Crossing for the 3DS, but there was no, the last mainline one, I guess, was for the Wii, but nobody played
I would
that.
say even GameCube was
That-
probably the
That's what people remember. Like, that's what I think a lot of the people that played this one remember. And a lot of the people that like the GameCube one like this one for the same reasons, I think. Because I didn't play the GameCube one.
I get Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon mixed up. What do you do in Harvest Moon?
I have no idea. I haven't played Harvest Moon either.
No, I get them mixed up a
But
lot.
I have played Animal Crossing. So I did probably put like 50 hours into Animal Crossing at the start of the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
And it was a pretty fun game. And I think it was, that's the thing. I think you only get 31. I think Animal Crossing only got 31 million copies sold if it really, like, if it was a
I'd be
perfect
interested
storm.
to see how many copies it sold on the 3DS.
We can check that real quick.
Yeah, I would be interested to see how many copies it sold. I obviously think it did a lot more in sales because of the pandemic. And I think it's still a popular game right now, but not as popular, obviously, when it came out.
Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS sold 12 million units.
So over, bless you, bless you. So over double
Yeah.
on the Switch. And can you
almost
think of any
triple.
other games off the top of your head that were like that when like kind of pandemic influenced the sales outcome of it?
I don't know. I guess maybe, I mean, just Switch sales in general really had a good year.
Yes.
So I think maybe just that, like all the Switch sales were influenced, I think, by that. Because you still see games like Mario Kart 8 selling millions of copies a month. Or like,
Yeah, that's what I was
something
gonna say,
ridiculous.
Mario Kart.
It's like they still sell, and that number might be a bit high, but it's a lot. They sell a lot of copies of Mario Kart and Super Smash still and all that. So, and we're still technically in the pandy, so who knows?
And those games still hold their value. There's still about like
As physical
25
copies,
to
yeah.
$30 Switch games probably, and that just shows you how popular they are and how many people want them.
100%.
There's plenty of Switch games out there that are under 15, 12 bucks right now, just because they had a hype at launch, but then they die off, and there's not that community who continuously wants them.
Yeah.
No, I think Nintendo is doing well of I don't know if Nintendo's doing well of restocking or if it's just the kind of the hype dying down and people who got what they wanted got it. But I see at my local Walmarts and Targets and things like that now there are Switches in stock. I went to Walmart the other day and there was plenty of Switch lights. There was plenty of Switches, both the Mario one and the Animal Crossing ones.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
And they're 6 systems.
Yeah,
I want to get one just for the collection. I don't feel like dropping $300.
Yeah,
but I love the design.
I don't know. I feel like they're gonna release a new one with the Pokemon stuff they're doing.
I'll find one at a garage sale.
Yeah, one day.
But it'd be cool to grade one of those. I've always thought grading systems was cool.
It is kind of cool, but it's also kind of ridiculous. I don't know. Whatever.
It's a topic for another day.
So, go.
So, did you kind of give up on Animal Crossing, or are you still playing it?
No, I definitely don't still play it. I totally gave up on it. It's just not my type of game. Like, it felt like real life too much. Like, I played games to totally escape real life, and I literally had to pay a debt. Like, I had to pay a mortgage in that game, basically, and like do chores and stuff. So that's when
Is your girlfriend still playing it?
She logs on occasionally, but
yeah.
I just hit the mic. She logs on occasionally, but not as much as she did like when it first started. You know, when it first everyone was playing it, because she would log on with friends too. Like, it was a pretty rather social game.
So she had the Switch Animal Crossing. Was she playing any other games, or she mainly just doing Animal Crossing?
She played Link's Awakening briefly, which was pretty cool. That kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out you, babe. But yeah, she hasn't played anything else. She likes Super Monkey Ball.
Dude, Super Monkey Ball is so fun.
Yeah,
so much fun.
But yeah, Animal Crossing was I just wanted to talk about because it was just it was an important game this past year, and it's officially been. It was released on March 20th, so it'll be a year in less than a week now.
That you hit it right at the handle. Just like the whole like pandemic stew and this coming out, just like the fact that people were quarantined inside and bored, just brought people who didn't play video games before back into it, which I think is great for the community and a great thing to do.
100%, guys. And if you're still playing Animal Crossing, let us know.
Yeah, let me know what Animal Crossing is. You kind of like build a town and like things. It's kind of like the Sims.
It's kind of sort of like the Sims.
Yeah,
kind of sort of.
Now I think Harvest Moon, you go through and like you farm and raise. I got a Harvest Moon game right next to me. Hold on. Harvest Moon, a Wonderful Life on GameCube. The biggest harvest ever. So it's a farming game. Farming lasts a lifetime and forget-me-not value. A coastal village where you cultivate friendships and raise a family among crops and livestock.
Farming sim.
Make important choices as to who you marry, start a family, grow, produce, and guide your offspring through life's most challenging chapters. What sort of life would you live?
That sounds awesome.
Look at this. Farming features. Find, choose, and charm potential brides for brides with plural. Brides for marriage.
Farm, dude. Wild.
It's like Sister Wives, but Harvest Moon.
Except Nintendo. This is what we've learned today on that 5th.
I'm opening the sealed copy and throwing this in after dinner.
Hell yeah. All right. Talk about miscuts.
Dude, so okay. This is a big one to me, and it's because I recently got into a Facebook group called like just something like Pokemon miscuts, a Facebook group. If you guys are into kind of miscuts and error cards and all that stuff, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll invite you to
explain what a miscut is.
So I guess
I know what it is, but for everyone.
Yeah, so a miscut is basically it's a miscut. So like when you have a card, one of the factors for grading is centering. And normally you'll see like 60-40 centering, a little top heavy or a little left heavy. But a miscut could be like towards like 90-10. Like it's so far off center, it's completely noticeable. It's like, wow. Or even you can get ones where it's like the sheets and how the sheets were cut are not correct. Right, you'll get kind of the edge of another card on your card.
It's just basically the printers making mistakes, and that's what you get is a card that's not been cut correctly.
Yes. So people love these, and in the Pokemon card community, people go crazy for them. But then when I look at sports cards, people hate them. So like when a card is so off center in Pokemon, you can even get like a designation on the PSA slab that says like it's a 9 MC, 9 miscut.
Yeah.
But when you put, so the latest like Bowman product that came out for baseball had pretty bad quality.
Yeah.
People are just complaining, like wanting to send cards back to the manufacturer because they're so off center and they're just pissed off.
So there's nobody likes that in baseball.
No, okay,
so
so
any sports or
not no. And so there's some error cards, kind of more vintage versus new, but there's some error cards, or you'll get the card every once in a while, which has like say Miguel Cabrera on the front, but then you'll have Jose Bautista stats on the back. Okay. And people will kind of chase that one just because it's cool like that. Yeah. Or like there's some funny ones, like a guy was getting it's a vintage card, was getting his picture taken for his card, and on the end of his bat knob, it said "fuck you." But the photographer and nobody noticed. They printed out the cards with this bat knob saying that, and people and they finally noticed it like through production, so then they changed it.
Wow.
But more modern people are just they contact Topps, they hate it, and they want their cards what's the word? They want their cards refunded and like exchanged.
Wow, that's interesting. It is interesting because Pokemon people do, like Chris said, Pokemon people do go kind of crazy for that.
I see these people post stuff in these groups. It could be like a common card, like a Centiskorch from Champion's Path that's miscut, and like people like they're bidding for it in the comments.
Yeah, you get like never actually pulled any miscut cards, so it's probably more rare than.
My buddy pulled a couple of the crimped cards.
That's pretty cool.
Kind of weird. So a crimped card is like how the top of the pack is kind of rigid. The pack seals kind of with one of the cards inside the pack. It seals onto one of the cards. So one of the cards has some crimping on it. Those don't excite me much.
Yeah.
Miscuts, like an off-center miscut doesn't excite me too much. It'd be cool if you had like a card where another card was like it was on it, just the way the printer cut the sheet.
Right.
That's cool.
That's super cool. And I think I've seen one where for instance there's been a Pokemon back, but also printed on top of it would be like a Magic the Gathering back.
Oh,
so you have it's like a printing error where it's like a double image, which
I've never seen
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
And I think like Hollow Bleed is cool.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are trying to collect a bunch of cards from Evolution's Hollow Bleed.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then it's funny because people reach. There'll be like an ink dot. But then there's some cards where it's like this card is known for its ink dot, and you have the ink dot version of this card, it's worth so much money.
Right. Yeah, and some ink dots detract from grading and some don't because they're factory known error. It's super weird. I know the T17 Typhlosion, first edition T17 Typhlosion.
Was that the one where there's like two different numbers for it?
Yeah, but there's also there's like known PSA 10s with the ink, this red little ink dot near, and then it's just like, is that factory error? Or like it's just interesting. It's so weird. I don't know. So it's,
and like I said, just the community of miscuts is crazy, and it's just the total opposite in sports cards. Like I follow like breakers on Twitter mainly, which a breaker is, so they'll get a bunch of product in, and then you'll buy into a break. So they do it kind of how like either say like you get the third pack in the box, or you get every San Diego Padres player that was thing, or you get every NL Central player. But then they're like tweeting at Topps, basically sending them death threats. Like, come on, get your quality control team in check. Like, this is shit. Like, why are we paying for this?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Pokemon community does complain about quality control, but I don't know to what extent.
And I guess you see it more in baseball or sports cards in general because you pay more for a box. Like, I know, God, Jesus Christ, just the way box. So the way,
like, what's a pack? I guess per average pack cost?
$5 probably.
Yeah,
but so that's just your normal like retail pack. $5. A blaster box is 20. A mega box is 50 or whatever. But then you get into hobby boxes, and they'll do what's called a Dutch auction for hobby boxes, where it starts crazy high, and then as time goes on, like there's a timer, so maybe every 10 minutes or so, the price drops. So it goes from like whatever, $400. It starts at $400. 10 minutes goes by, drops to $390, $380, and then however the timing and the price drops, and then just people keep on buying at whatever price point they like until it sells out.
Wow.
But the latest, so I've always said basketball is the hottest right now. Basketball is insane. The latest product that just came out, NBA Hoops for basketball.
Yeah.
And Hoops is known as a lesser set. Like it's not the most prestigious set out there. It's kind of more a just general collector's kid set.
Mm-hmm.
The Hobby Box just came out last week for 2021 Hoops, $4,000 starting Dutch auction for a Hobby Box.
And the manufacturer does these Dutch auctions?
Yes.
That is absurd.
Yep. So everybody was
literally, I'm going to say this right here, and I would not want to be a part of something like that. If that ever happened in Pokemon, I'd be like, I'm out. Peace.
So everybody was tweeting at them, just calling them money hungry because they know the way the market is right now and how insane it is. And just like the set being Hoops, it's like $4,000. Like, how are you going to keep collectors in here? What does a Hobby Box have? 24, 36 packs, one of those two. You're not buying a case. Maybe you're buying a case of boxes for $4,000, but you're buying 24 packs for $4,000.
That's out of control.
And this is just a normal like retail product. I can see if you get into something like they have sets called like Immaculate Collection or like Topps Finest, and those are like your high end packs. Yeah. Like you get one pack per box and you get like 6 cards, but 5 out of the 6 cards are hits.
That's insane.
By a hit, I mean autograph or relic. And that's where you're chasing your like, that's where they have like the Kobe's out of 5 autographed jerseys and things like that, or your Jason Dominguez autographed rookie patch autos out of 20.
Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy, dude.
Dude, it's insane. And the Dutch auctions are cool, I guess. It's a cool way to do it. I've really never seen it before I got into the card community. I've never participated in one. People are just, the market's crazy. We've been saying that nonstop. And I just think that like my biggest thing was, why is it different in Pokemon versus sports for like the errors and miscuts?
Yeah.
How would you collect miscuts? Like, how do you feel about them?
Yeah, I totally want to get, if there was a cool one that I could pick up for cheap, I would, like a card that I cared about.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like a Charizard miscut would be so sick.
That's the thing, because it's like a Charizard miscut, people would be hyped about and like go crazy, and that would go for more than the base card.
Potentially. Just because it's rare.
But then you pull a just normal rookie card, which off center as hell, it's going to go for way less than the rookie card.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, the Pokemon product has to be off center enough. It can't just be like a little off center, because people do hate that. Because if it's going to get a 9 instead of a 10 due to center.
Yeah, no, I'm talking like noticeable. Like this is off center, like 90-10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I've seen baseball cards like that, and just the people who got them are pissed.
Right. No, it's definitely different with Pokemon.
I think I would keep them. I think it would be cool if I pulled one. Depending on the card, I might be a little ticked. I might be ticked at first, but I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of cool, and there's a market for this.
Yeah.
And you just, obviously the amount of buyers are going to be less, but the people who are a buyer are going to want it even more.
All right, you want to go into our viewer question of the week?
Yeah, so we do a weekly segment here on the Cards and Cartridges Podcast. It's called the Question of the Week. Give us a follow on Instagram at Cards and Cartridges Podcast. If you just search that, you'll be able to find us. We ask weekly, usually on Wednesdays, for a viewer question of the week. And this week's question comes from Nintendo, and he says, if you could choose one video game character to be your personal bodyguard, who would you choose?
I'm going to say Master Chief.
Ooh,
from Halo.
That's a good one.
Like Master Chief from Halo would be a badass bodyguard, bro.
Yeah. I've never played the game, but just this one that came to mind real quick. I've never played the game, but just seeing him on the cover is the dude from God of War.
Oh, Kratos. That's a
Yeah.
great. That's a good
He
call
just looks
too.
like a certified badass.
Yeah. He is. I've played all the God of War games. They're some of my favorites. That's a good answer, Kuzi. You should play one of them. They're really fun. But Master Chief or Kratos, both of them, those would be badass bodyguards.
Yeah.
I think that's a great question.
I think Chain Chomp would be kind of dope.
Who?
Chain Chomp from like the Mario series.
Decent. He could get in the way though. He's not that fucking smart.
He could get in the way.
It's stupid.
I guess he's not very
Yeah.
like he can't just go after somebody too.
No.
Scratch
But-
that. Bowser?
No.
No.
I literally think we picked the best two.
Just looking for a certified badass, pretty much.
Yeah. Like strictly bodyguard or like Solid Snake would be kind of a good one from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
You could get Sheik. You could get Samus.
Samus would be a cool one.
Yeah. All of these, all the more badass characters who could do some damage. I mean, Charizard.
Yeah.
You could fly with that. That's
That's a big plus right there.
You can fly. That's kind of good.
Isn't Charizard pretty big too?
Yeah, he might be hefty, bro. Depends. They're all different weights. So
yeah,
you never know. You never know what you're gonna get.
I think if I'm hiring a personal bodyguard, I'm going with the dude from God of War.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. We appreciate you more than you know. Make sure to tune in next week on the Cards and Cartridges Podcast. Make sure to hit up the claim sale if you haven't seen one of those. That's something we do live on twitch.tv/OGretro. I
forgot to shout out the I apologize. I forgot to shout out the text platform. I meant to do that at the beginning of the podcast.
Right.
So if somehow you've made it to the very end of the podcast, you're in for a treat. Now I should do this at the beginning. We started a text platform. So it's on Remind 101, and it is basically like for schools, but we can use it. If you text at Kuzi OG, that's at COUSI OG to 81010, you'll be signed up for a text platform. I believe it asks for your birthday, and if you're a parent, student, or teacher, you don't have to answer that. If you do, just make something up. It's just to make sure you're over the age of 13. But we don't see your phone number. We don't see any of your information, but we'll be able to send you a text saying like, hey, we're about to go live for a claim sale. Come check us out on twitch.tv/OGretro. Or we're going to text you Monday mornings when the podcast goes live. Just kind of that extra reminder to hook your boys up and give us a listen.
Hell yeah. Thanks for that reminder, Kuzi.
I need a Remind 101 to remind you guys.
That's what I'm saying. But guys, like we said, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for giving us a listen.
See you guys.